Hello and welcome to Tome of Uselessness. I'm Devon.
I am Dan.
And today is a sad day.
It's the day that's finally come. We all knew it was going to happen.
We're going to talk about Oscar unnominated. No, I'm just kidding. Wait, is it nominated for an Oscar? It might be. Those just came out.
No, I assume not.
Best Picture, Best Cinematography.
They definitely wouldn't win that one.
Best Actress.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm talking about. Fuck, what's it called?
Solo, a Star Wars story.
Thank you.
It's like the simplest title.
No, because I don't know why, but I keep wanting to call it Oopsie Doopsie. A Han Solo story.
Makes perfect sense.
Ollie Oxenfree, a Han Solo story. I don't know why, I feel like it should be a Han Solo story and not a Star Wars story.
Yeah, well...
I mean, it is a Star Wars story.
Yeah, it was the same like when they did that with Rogue One. They're like, Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I was like, why did you just call it Rogue One? Like, we all know it's taking place in the Star Wars universe, but I guess... Because, like, they don't say that about the Marvel movies. They don't say Iron Man, a Marvel story. Or, it's just like, it's Iron Man.
That's true.
So.
But they did have Captain America, the First Avenger.
Sure, but that's like the title
story
of the movie. Yeah, it's not like Captain America, an Avenger story. It's called The First Avenger, and then Captain America Civil War,
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know why.
Yeah.
They do.
Like, or why didn't they just literally call it Star Wars Rogue One, and then, like, call this one Star Wars Solo, or, like...
I guess maybe they want to differentiate between the main storyline, the Luke storyline, and the, like, one-shot movies.
Yeah, no, I understand that between your trilogies and these, but it's like... I don't know. I just find a Star Wars story sounds, like, pretentious and stupid.
Yeah. Should have called it Adventures in Star Wars Land.
Yeah.
So Dan.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy Solo? The Red Cup story?
Yes. Red Letter Media made that joke as well. Yeah.
That's probably where I got it from.
Quite possibly, because they're great. I enjoyed parts of it.
Cool.
But not overall.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
I will admit there were parts that I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the main actor. I really liked him in Hail Caesar.
Yeah.
And I thought that he did a good job in a bad situation.
Sure.
But this movie made me question reality itself. And not in like an artistic way, more in a like, what is meaning way. And I had like a brief existential crisis after watching it.
I think for me as well, and I think I highlighted this in maybe our year-end review show, it's like it just makes me question, like, what are these people doing that make these movies? Like, no one sets out to make a bad movie, I get it, but it's like when your product is just bad on a basic writing level.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you have access to everything, and this is what you come with? Like,
the thing for like Solo for me was that I've never experienced anything quite as soulless as this movie. I felt like there was not a single person involved that was like, this is my art and I'm making art. It was like, maybe,
it was corporate art, essentially.
No, it wasn't art. It was like
corporate product.
Yeah, it was like, if we make a Han Solo movie, regardless of what it is, it will make money. So we're going to make this movie.
And it's interesting to think though, because it came out only 6 months after The Last Jedi.
Yeah, they bumped it.
Yeah, well, and if The Last Jedi was more successful, would have Solo been more successful? Because people would have been like, yeah, give me more Star Wars.
Yeah,
give me more Star Wars content. But I think it's because the story is so different that they're two different beasts.
Well, my theory, because it came out around the same time, well, slightly after Infinity War.
It was in May, yes. Yeah, no, Infinity War, like, crushes everything.
I think they bumped it back to May to bury that it was a bad movie, and then they could have blamed Infinity War doing well and it not doing well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, they could have just get it to a December release, because that's when they were releasing their Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Polish the movie a little more. Yes, they're going to spend more money, because reportedly their budget was reportedly $300 million, but we all know from the stories that there were some reshoots.
Yeah.
Tons of production money was spent, and they had to bring in new directors. Tons of money was spent on this movie. But I guess they just didn't want to throw, good money after bad, but it was like, if they had beefed the product up more, they could have made more money. Worldwide box office, according to Box Office Mojo, was $392.9, so almost $393 million. So it definitely didn't make money.
No.
In its box office run, let's say.
Yeah. But, I don't know, to go back to my point of this movie being soulless and nobody making art in this project, it was just, from everywhere. The script was so just, this is a story, here's beats, and we're going to hit them.
Sure.
The cinematography was we have to shoot them walking out of the thing, so we're going to do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't
there was no energy to the cinematography.
There was nothing,
and it was very dull. The lighting.
When I was on my other podcast before this, Guttural Frequency, we got to interview some guys that made a low-budget movie called Strip Club Massacre.
Right, I remember that.
Which is about a strip club massacre. There was a ton of shit that was wrong with that movie. There was pacing issues. There was low budget for blah, 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 right? The actors were meh.
Serviceable.
But that movie had 100 times more heart than Solo did, and it was called Strip Club Massacre.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the
Shout out to Bruce.
Yeah, it's hard to say, especially something with Solo here and a little bit of The Last Jedi. If it wasn't a Star Wars movie, would it even have come close to making the amount of money it did, right?
Yeah. If it wasn't a Star Wars movie, it might have been interesting because they wouldn't have...
Yeah, it would be just space adventure.
Yeah, it would just be... Oh my god, there's so much wrong with this movie.
Sure, and okay, so let's just...
There was a lot of bits that reminded me of a second-rate Firefly, too.
Sure, well, I mean...
it was
that space pirate.
It was a photocopy of a real thing. So it was a 3D printed version of a person, and then they're like, no, this is a person too. And you're like, no, that's not a person, that's plastic. No, this is a person. It looks like a person.
Right.
That's what this movie, it was so heartless and so soulless.
Well, before we continue too much...
I feel like my soul is dying. Why did they make this movie?
Yeah, no.
Did everybody get crushed doing this? Did everybody, did they all start drinking after this?
It's possible.
I hate it.
I would say I'll quickly sum up the movie before we continue too much.
Bad.
I mean, at this point, most people must have seen the movie. Young Han Solo, he escapes from Corellia, and he's like, okay, I'm going to come back to save Emilia Clarke, Kira, my girlfriend, from the horrible situation. Smash cut, it's been 3 years, he's in the army, he meets Woody Harrelson, gets on his crew for a thief job, it goes slightly wrong, meets the next thing, they're going to do the next thief job, movie wraps up.
You forgot that he met Chewbacca before that.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just doing a quick thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they go to the Kessel, they do the job there,
they
get
do the
away.
Kessel Run.
They do the Kessel Run, they get away, they're on this other planet, which I did like the lack of locations, it was minimal, it wasn't like Rogue One where they went to 10 million places, it was we went to 4 places, cool. Although I do have some notes about...
You know what? I wouldn't have fucking noticed if they went to 1 million places because they just didn't give a shit.
They end up on another planet. These pirates come back that they met earlier in the movie, and then it turns out, lo and behold, they're not really the bad guy. And I like the exposition part. Again, maybe I won't get too much into it, but it's hey, those criminal syndicates are bad. It's yeah, we know they're a criminal syndicate.
Also, why were the pirates a 12-year-old girl?
Yeah.
Stupid.
No, before you continue. Then they go, there's the double, triple back cross, and they meet with the crime guy. They fight, there's death. And then Han shoots first. Movie should have ended right there, but it doesn't. And then he meets Lando again, gets the ship, and then he's like, I heard there's maybe a job on Tatooine. And movie ends.
Yeah. So...
Brief summary.
When I cared... Yeah. Which was very early on in the movie.
I was about to say, right at the beginning, you're like, okay, let's see what we got.
Yeah. Anyways, when I cared... So they rob a train. at one point.
Oh, you're talking, okay, yeah. Well, I was just saying, I had some notes even about the beginning with the PowerPoint presentation.
Well, I want to talk now. You talk.
Okay. Let's get to the train heist then.
Okay. At the train.
Yeah.
This is after he's left his girlfriend and he's trying to get back to her.
Yeah, it's like 3 years later.
Yeah. He's with Woody
Harrelson.
and
Beckett.
Maeve.
And Maeve, yeah.
And the alien with rubber arms.
Yeah, Jon Favreau voiced the little ape guy.
Oh, of course he did. He's everywhere.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Okay, so the pirate, this is when we're first introduced to the pirate because they're trying to save
Also steal the fuel.
the fuel,
Yeah.
right?
Which, I understand Disney's choice to change the spice / whatever to a super fuel instead of drugs.
Oh, is this supposed to be drugs?
Yeah, in Star Wars previous canon, let's say, in the whole thing, the spice was a drug.
Oh.
And it's the most valuable substance in the galaxy.
I just thought that they also mined the fuel where they mined the spice.
No, because they say something about like the spice, blah blah blah. There's like a line, and it's the super fuel now. Anyway,
Okay.
so everyone's trying to steal the super fuel on this train.
Yeah. So what I thought was, I'm like, immediately when we are introduced to the pirate character, I'm like, that's a woman. And then I thought, oh, it's probably Emilia Clarke, because that would make sense, because then when we meet her later, I was like, oh, this makes perfect sense, because she's gonna double cross them and steal it so they don't have to pay them and they can kill, and so that crime boss can kill them and not pay them.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that was...
You were expecting even like more double crosses.
Yes, all the double crosses. I was like, oh, that makes sense. That would be kind of interesting. But then it was just stupid.
I guess it was like...
Because nobody cares about this movie.
Yeah, what were we talking about before? Maybe it's like every decision where it was like, oh, that could be clever, they took the wrong direction.
Yeah, they did.
It's like, oh, that guy, okay. Oh, no, okay.
No.
Okay.
Okay, we're going back to the beginning.
Back to the beginning for me. They do a PowerPoint presentation instead of the opening crawl, which, like, Rogue One had nothing.
What do you mean by a PowerPoint presentation?
It's literally just, like, text on the screen, and then it disappears, and then, like, the next set of text appears on the screen.
Oh, I didn't read that, because I didn't care.
And normally Star Wars always has the opening crawl.
Yeah,
And
why did it crawl? Why didn't it do that?
Because they did the same thing in Rogue One, where they didn't have the text crawl because they're trying to do something different.
It didn't?
No, it just starts.
I just don't care because Donnie Yen's not in that part.
Yeah, that's fair.
Why can't we just have a Donnie Yen movie?
So they do the PowerPoint presentation, and then they mention specifically how it's like, it's all this time, Han's on the planet Corellia. You know, he's a young, scrappy orphan, and he's working for this lady, Proxima, and you're like, okay, she's clearly going to be part of this movie, in the movie for 40 seconds, and then gone. And I'm like, why was this person part of your opening presentation?
I think because they were trying to, like, set up where he was and why he was friends with Ladybug.
But then it's
Lady.
ineptly set up, and then when they escape, we don't care at all.
Well, I cared about nothing in this movie, so they were just setting us up for the rest of the film.
See, because here's what I would do. Because there's a scene, of course, later where he gambles with Lando.
Yes.
You open the movie with Han Solo gambling to set up the fact that he's a good gambler, because there's nothing in the movie to indicate that he's a good gambler.
Because nothing in this movie matters, and it lets you know that nothing in life matters.
You set that up, and then he's gambling, and that's how him and Emilia Clarke are existing on Corellia. They're scrapping by.
Yeah.
Something goes wrong, and then he's like, oh man, now this guy's going to be coming after me. And she's like, you know what? Join the Empire to get away. And then he's like, I'll come back for you, I promise, kind of thing. Simple.
Yeah.
None of this stupid chase bullshit that, like, doesn't matter. And it was visually boring.
Oh, God.
They got the music, and it's all like, I don't care.
Well, I think it was their color palette and the filters they were using was part of the problem, because
but that's okay. It's
everything
an industrial
fucking
planet.
blurs together. I couldn't fucking see anything.
Yeah, but that's fine on the industrial construction planet. It's downtrodden. You know, it's not a vibrant world. I'm okay with that.
No, I'm not.
I'm not okay though when they're escaping and they break. He's like, okay, we gotta bribe our way past this checkpoint. Maybe he meant the other checkpoint, but they break through that barrier with the droid, and then there's like one stormtrooper who chases them, not like a whole like fleet of things.
Nothing in this movie made sense. I don't know why you're trying to make sense of it.
Sorry, just because I'm a Star Wars fan and wanted to watch a good movie.
Nothing. No. We didn't, like I've said this before, I'll say it again. We didn't need this movie. This movie should have never existed. We had a Young Han Solo movie. It's called A New Hope.
Yes, but
the end.
If it's going to exist, you want the best to exist.
No, this is what I expected.
Okay.
Bullshit.
Because I didn't like how he just joins the Empire like that just to be like, oh, I'm going to get away. It was like when they still check his ID and find out he doesn't have ID.
No, because apparently it doesn't even matter that he doesn't have a last name, because apparently we needed a fucking backstory to his last name being Solo.
Yeah, no, I was going to say...
Is that going to be the next movie? Is it going to be Luke, a Skywalker story where we find out why his family name is Skywalker?
Yeah, no.
Is it gonna be him at 5 years old playing with like rocks? Like what?
Yeah, no, I do have a nice line here in my notes about all the origin crap just didn't belong in this movie. It was so dumb and so inept.
Here's my theory.
Yeah.
Because they changed directors.
Yes.
It was originally
Lauren and Miller, I think it is.
Yeah, the directors that did the original Lego movie, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And weird.
And Into the Spider-Verse.
And I think that their version was too weird for Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's why they got fired.
Yes.
But they made like most of the movie. So I think my theory is that every origin in there was them making fun of Disney putting origins all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think there was probably more and they cut it back.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I didn't need to know where his last name came from. I didn't need to know where his gun came from.
Yeah.
I didn't need to know that those dice were...
The dice thing, that's all pure Disney from Return of the Jedi, or not, from The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Because when they and I was like, fuck you, movie, those dice are bullshit.
Yeah. Like, I didn't need to know any of that. I didn't care. Nobody cares.
Don't even know. I'm Chewbacca. I'm going to have to call you something shorter.
Yeah, like we could just assume, we can get to that point.
Well, or it's like, after they go and they become friends, then he starts calling him Chewie and it's okay. He's his friend now.
Or they become friends and it's like a joke where he doesn't like being called Chewie, but he does it anyways to annoy him or something, right? Like, but we don't need him to, you don't need to spell it out. You just don't. You don't. So, I don't know. I think there were parts that it was clear that those original directors had put in. For example, in the opening scene, when he throws the rock at the window to let the light in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was all them.
Oh, yes, I agree.
With him with the rock in his hand and being like, click, click. Yeah. They're like, it's a grenade. And they're like, no, it's a rock. And you just said click, click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so. I agree as well. That was...
and that would have been more interesting.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I did like, though, after he's like, oh, I'm gonna be a pilot, blah, 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 and the guy's like, alright, good luck, and then they do smash cut to just, like, him on a ground battle in mud, and I was like, oh, that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, like, his dream of, like, flying in space, and he's like, oh, I'm on a ball of mud.
Yeah, so that was alright.
I like that, and then, Woody as Beckett, he's all like, look at me, gunslinging badass.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it's more effective storytelling when you display characteristics and situations and people reacting to those situations rather than just saying stuff. I don't trust people versus watching him get betrayed or hearing or having his girlfriend be like, his parents sold him for $1 or something. I don't know what fucking whatever, right? I feel like that is far more effective than what this movie was, which was just like him being like, I don't trust people and neither should you. That's it. That's like everyone's going to betray you, right?
Yeah. Well, and this is, again, there's some ineptness here because it's like, they do the scene, he meets Chewbacca, and he's like, okay, we're going, because they're going to steal this loader thing, right? Mm-hmm. But we don't care about the train heist, but it's like the characters do, but we have no reason to
care about the characters?
To care about the character. Like, okay, I was like, oh, cool, like, you got Maeve, and you got Woody, and you got his 8 guy, and I was like, oh man, they got a cool little crew, and they're gonna do something fun, and then
they all die.
Yeah, and then they all die, and I was like, what? Well, why are you killing 2 of these characters? Like, they seemed interesting. interesting.
That was
like I thought that like okay, they try to do something, or they're like okay, here's the job, and then it's gonna be the movie, not just like oh now they're dead and now we have to go meet the crime guy.
Job, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like oh man.
Well, yeah, and like Maeve sacrifices herself.
Yeah.
And like.
And we're like, why?
So? Why did you do that?
Yeah.
Like...
Because it's like, oh, we have to complete the job for the Crimson guys. And it's like, well, you could have gotten away. Like, she could have just jumped down. She had a grappling hook.
Yeah, it's like Fantastic Beasts, right? We get like 2 sacrifices back to back, and then you're like, well, why do I care?
Yeah.
First of all, they're way too close together, so I don't give a shit about the second one right off the bat. And second of all, I just met these characters like 10 minutes ago. Why do you think
one scene ago?
Why?
Yeah, and it's like, okay, and then the job goes botched, and these 2 people die. They lose the cargo to the the pirates. Everyone loses it, blows up that mountain. Nice little effect. And then
fuck you, mountain.
Yeah, basically. Then Woody Harrelson's like, okay, I gotta go explain this to the guy. So they go to meet crime lord guy Paul Bettany.
Hey, I have a question.
Okay.
Paul Bettany.
Bettany, yes, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why I say Bethany all the time.
Sounds more natural.
Yeah.
Okay. Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
In interviews. Says that he does not watch any Marvel movies.
Really?
He doesn't
He's
really
in them.
I know.
Yeah.
He's Vision.
He's Vision.
He was contractually obligated to become Vision because he was the voice of Jarvis. He thought he was just signing up to be Jarvis.
Okay, yeah.
He doesn't like superhero movies. He is like a highbrow art guy.
Really?
He likes to do Shakespeare. Why is he in this movie?
Because you need a British man as a villain.
But does he owe Disney a life debt? Like, what's going on here? It seems like the type of movie he wouldn't care about because he doesn't care about Star Wars. He doesn't care about...
Maybe.
And there's probably another British actor who does care about Star Wars. So is it like a paycheck thing? Does he owe a lot of money? Does Disney have his kids? Does he need help? You
figure he does his Vision and his solo movie twice a year, and then he's able to go do his Shakespeare stuff and not worry about, I'm not making a lot of money.
But he wasn't doing anything before he was he wasn't doing anything big before. I guess he got addicted to cocaine or caviar or something.
In fact, there's a story that his agent was like, man, I don't think your career's going very far, blah, 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 maybe you should think about doing something else. And then he got cast in Iron Man as
Jarvis. Really?
Yeah. And then it's like, well, that's a steady paycheck, I guess. So you just have to keep rolling with it, and pay for his house, and then you can do his Shakespeare and his other things.
Cocaine?
His cocaine, yes.
And caviar.
And caviar.
Champagne.
Because it's funny because, like you say that, because I actually liked him in this movie.
I like him in every movie I see him in. I have no problem with him as an actor.
I liked his crazy weird makeup, and he was all like, I'm British evil. Like, he was caricature evil crime lord guy, and I was fine with it.
Well, he did it well.
Yeah.
He did it. He was way better than Emilia Clarke, who was just like... I don't know what's going on with her face.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with her words.
Here, I was gonna say, before we get too much with that scene.
She's pretty, I guess. I should give her that.
My problem with that scene is okay, we're gonna go meet Paul Bettany, sorry, the Crimson Sun Overlord guy. And then they go in, it's like a fancy yacht, and they go in and they're all in their still their rough and tumble stuff. And there was no great scene where they're like, hey, you guys are looking like crap, you gotta get changed. And then they look all weird and uncomfortable in some fancy clothes. Then when Emilia Clarke sees them and says oh, hey, you're looking good, it's because he's wearing a fancy suit and not his normal thing. I don't know, just a little character moment because that's usually a classic thing, because they're rough and tumble dudes, and then they have to wear nice suits, and then they're like, oh man, they look all uncomfortable. What do you do with Chewbacca? That'd be a comedy moment.
We could have remember Disney's animated Beauty and the Beast when they make the Beast doll up?
Yeah.
They did that to Chewbacca.
Yeah, he's wearing this big velvet velour suit with huge ruffles.
His hair's all curled.
Yeah. But I don't know. I thought just something small like that. Just a little.
Well, they did have Woody Harrelson being like, "Don't look at anyone.
Yeah,
You're
which was
scum.
funny.
Fuck you."
Which was funny, and then he goes and looks out the window, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
But they just they're so out of place, especially Woody Harrelson. He's in battle damaged armor and scorched, and he's all like, "Oh, I'm just walking through here," and the people are in like these fancy suits.
Yeah, I also thought it was weird because there was a line before they went in there where Woody was like, "If you go in there, you're tied to this life forever because they'll all know you," and then it's like there was no follow up to that. There was no like, "Hey,
we should stop."
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
People like a little siren in the background.
I don't when I edit it.
Too bad.
Sorry, but yes, Woody Harrelson's like.
Yeah, so it was weird that nobody followed up on that in the thing, being like, "Who are you? I'm Boss Man. I'm Han."
I think that was with Dryden. Boss was always like, now I know you and you owe me money because you botched the job. So it was just kind of like that.
Yeah, I don't know. There was just so much lacking for me. Yeah. There's so many ways it could have been better.
Well, and then this is the scene where it reintroduces Emilia Clarke, Kira, back into the movie.
Oh yeah, she's got a pretty dress and a ponytail. Yeah. Looking fly, wondering where her dragons are.
Pretty much. Always. And then basically she's just like, because the whole time Han's like, I want to get money to get a ship so I can go back and get Kira. Yeah. That's all he talks about. Yeah. And then he's like, oh shit, she's right here. And she's like, yeah, I got out. But we don't get any yeah. We don't get anything.
And then later on, they're talking, and they make out in a
couple times
in a cloakroom, like a literal cloakroom. Yeah. And then he's like, "Yeah, you can come with me when we're done this job." And she's like, "I've done terrible things," but it's never like elaborated on. No. And I don't know what her benchmark for terrible is. Yeah. So I don't know if she cheated on him.
Well, they weren't together.
I know, but I don't know what her idea of terrible is, right? Like if she was not true to her Han love.
But yeah, because she works for Dryden Voss as his lieutenant / bodyguard.
Yeah, or did she kill a bunch of people? Did she?
Oh yeah, I assume mass murder.
Did she drown a baby? What? Why not? What is terrible? What is her benchmark for terrible?
We don't know.
But I need to know because I don't care otherwise. Otherwise, I'm gonna just make it up myself. Well, it's dumb. It's dumb. She's dumb. This movie is dumb.
Well, and then of course
it's dumb.
They're like, okay, we're gonna do a new job, get you the unrefined fuel from Kessel, and then Paul or Dryden Boss agrees. He's like, all right, you go with them, Kira, if they screw it up, but I'm going to kill you all. And you're like, okay, at least there's some motivation, a threat. They gotta do the job. Gotcha.
So at this point in the movie, I haven't seen Paul Bettany do anything really mean except that he
murdered a guy?
Yeah, but it's expected that he would be murdering guys. He doesn't, I don't know.
He murders the local governor, which is weird, or the regional governor, because it's isn't that...
He does?
Yeah. It's
I just thought it was a dude.
No, there's a line, they're like, oh, he's meeting with the regional governor. And then you see him murdering a guy, and you're like, isn't the regional governor an Empire guy? And then, if that's the case, why are they trying to steal the Empire's fuel? That doesn't make sense.
I think they could have made him out to be more threatening if they had, torture guy or somebody we met earlier that he's torturing or something like that might have been more threatening. Or
maybe someone else survives from the job, or 8-man, he's still injured or whatever, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna hold on to him, and he does something terrible to him, and you're like, dude, why are you gonna start a friend or whatever?
Zapping him or something, right? Yeah.
I guess.
I think there's a better way to convey the stakes than just killing a person we don't know about in a pretty... he doesn't play with his food. He just fucking kills him.
Yeah, he just stabs him and the guy falls over dead.
Yeah. So if he was torturing him, right? Or if he broke his leg or snapped it, I don't know, something. Beat him up a bit, it would be a little bit more ooh, he's a bad guy.
Yeah, remember, they gotta get that PG rating though.
Okay. Fine. Was it rated PG?
I assume it was, because there's only been one Star Wars movie that hasn't been, and that was Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, I forgot that was a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Is it because he kills the younglings?
I think that's probably one reason, yes. So, I don't know. Like, see.
Like that, those movies were terrible, but at least they were like, you watched them with your whole face.
Sure. Well, and here's my problem with just like the series of events, because like I was saying, the train heist stuff was cool, but that could have been later in the movie when we knew the crew and cared about the crew.
Yeah.
And like that could have been part of the
Did you
overall
just call it series of unfortunate events?
What?
I think you just called it. I was like, how is that like series of unfortunate?
No.
What's the train heist in that movie? That show.
No, I was saying it was just the way it was sequenced is then, like I said, we could.
Oh, do you mean that it was a series of unfortunate events?
Yes.
Okay.
Like a literal series of unfortunate events. Yes. I think you're just hearing that. I don't think I said that.
You did. You
Okay.
did.
Because like the train heist visuals were it was
This
like,
movie
okay.
needed more Carmelita.
It definitely needed more Carmelita.
And more Esme.
Yes. No, it's because like the visual was cool and the train heist sequence was neat. Like they're on this train that's on a rail and the pirates come. And you're like, oh wow, that's good. But it was just early and we didn't care. And we're like, okay, they're doing the job.
Yeah.
The sacrifices part was just what it was like. And then they're like, okay, we need a fast ship. I wonder what fast ship they're gonna get when you know Lando's in the movie. So of course, smash cut. We get Lando intro, which I actually kind of liked his Lando intro. He's all cool, gambling.
I liked his capes.
And his capes were great, yes.
We need to bring capes back.
Yeah.
The thing is, though,
But my problem was...
this was like, what, an hour into the movie?
Oh, yeah. Like
4 hours into the
super long
movie?
into the movie.
Yeah.
Like an hour and... I think it was, definitely an hour and a bit.
They'd worn me down so much at this point. They just didn't care. There was nothing they could do to save this movie except have Tom Hiddleston show up naked. It's the only way I was going to pay attention.
Right, but they hired, unfortunately, Paul as their British evil villain in this movie.
No!
Yeah, so...
And he wore his pants the whole time.
And he wore his pants the whole time. So, Lando's gambler, and this was like I was saying, because Han's like, to Amelia, he's like, hey, stake me in the game, so I can try to win the Falcon off him or whatever.
Yeah.
But we have no reason to believe Han's good at gambling.
Yeah.
She has no reason to believe he's good at gambling.
I thought it was interesting that Lando was cheating.
Yeah.
I thought Han...
He only cheated in the big hand.
I thought Han was whatever his name is, was gonna cheat. That's what I assumed because we didn't know he was a good gambler.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. It was just I was paying so little attention at this point because I just didn't give a shit.
Well, and so then basically...
And then they didn't even need to gamble because...
They get the ship.
She's just like, Lando, let us use your ship. And he's like, okay.
Yeah. Because he's like, oh, Beckett, you killed this bounty hunter, like that's, mentioned tertiarily in the EU, but we got rid of the EU. So yeah, I'll do it for 25% cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They negotiate a bit.
And then... So they get the ship. They enter the glass cloud with a mom. Oh, I guess, should we talk about, this is where we get the intro of the droid. Everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
L3.
Great. Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
It's an excellent droid.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's favorite on the internet.
I don't know why.
Yeah, the less said, the better, I think, at this point about this droid.
The only thing is, okay, the droid dies.
Yeah.
As much as a fucking inanimate object can die.
Yeah.
But leading up to it...
Sorry, I just left. He picks it up and it falls apart in half. That was like so comedy that it must have been from the original directors.
Yeah. But everybody treats the droid like they don't like it. Nobody has like a moment where they're like, I've bonded with the droid or anything, right?
Everyone's uncomfortable and annoyed by this droid.
Yeah. There's no cutesy roly-poly moment. What's
no
it?
BB-8 moments.
Yeah, thank you, BB-8.
No R2.
There's no R2 moments.
Yeah.
None of that shit.
C-3PO, oh, you're hilarious. And
no, everybody just treats the droid with disdain.
Yeah.
Then the droid dies.
Yeah.
And then Lando screams out L3 like it's the fucking worst thing that's ever happened, and he's like emotionally attached to this droid that he doesn't give a shit about.
Yeah.
Were they lovers? It was kind of implied that they might be.
There's a potential implication that like the droids thought about it, but there was nothing indicated in the movie.
Well, there's like that part where the droid's talking to Amelia Clark, which is probably the worst part of the movie. It's the two worst characters having a conversation alone.
Yeah.
And Amelia Clark's like, how do you fuck a human? And he's like, oh, there's a way.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the droid knows, but maybe they've never done anything or whatever. I don't know.
Was that supposed to... Because I remember before it came out, everyone's like, Lando is pansexual, and it's a big deal. But then it's like, is that implication because he might have sex with a droid? 'Cause lots of people have sex with battery-operated things.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, I think it was a quote that was taken from, like, one of the screenwriters that someone was like, oh, do you think Lando would be potentially open to other things? And he was like, yeah, maybe. Not like... So there was no definitive, but of course it just got blown up. Like, to being like, yeah, Lando's super pansexual. And it was like, he just said, he didn't say no. Like, he basically...
Yeah, okay.
So, whatever.
Because I was like, is this like a J.K. Rowling situation?
Yeah. Everyone's gay now, by the way.
Everyone's pansexual.
Yeah.
There's like this is off topic, but on Twitter, somebody posted something like... Everyone.
Yeah, I saw that.
Cool. And then it was like, was like J.K. Rowling. Tommy has a 10-inch cock.
Yeah, I did see that one.
Sorry, it's good.
Yeah. So it's like the droid was annoying and just like Star Wars movies. Like not everyone likes droids, and it was like, why doesn't Lando just have a normal droid? He's all like, oh, it's got a great navigational mind, and it's like. So it's a good GPS?
So here's the thing. R2-D2 and C-3PO kind of became a thing because they were in the original movies.
Absolutely.
Right? They're like, okay, cool. So then they're like, we're going to make Force Awakens and we got to have an R2 character. We'll make BB-8.
Yeah.
And BB-8 was like the right level in Force Awakens, not Last Jedi, but was the right level of like friendly droid friend, right? So we're like, cool. And then they made Rogue One. And then they're like, we're going to do a droid, not a roid. We're going to make a droid with sassy mouth.
Yeah, K2SO, yes.
And everybody liked K2SO because he was good.
He was probably one of the best characters in that entire movie. And I think the best character.
No, Donnie Yen's a bit.
Well, okay, sorry.
He's the second best.
Right.
But people liked him, and when he died, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
So then they were like, oh, we're making this Han Solo movie, and we've had a droid in all the other movies, so we have to have a droid in this one. And the last one that worked was a sassy-mouthed, humanoid-looking droid, so now we needed a sassy-mouthed humanoid, and it just fell so flat. It was so bad. Because this movie was paint by numbers. They were like, we need a droid, because these ones have a droid, and then they put a droid in it, but because this movie has no heart, the droid has no heart, so we just hate everything.
Yeah. So they get to Kessel. On the way to Kessel, there's some dialogue and some scenes, and Woody Harrelson's like, people are gonna betray you, and then they play space chess because remember space chess?
Yeah.
And then Amelia Clark and Han have some dialogue because he's like, oh, tell me about what you did, and she again she doesn't even give us one story.
Yeah.
Like you find like one thing.
One thing.
Like
that's it.
She'd be like, oh man, I remember this time and it was something bad, but
do you know what would have been great?
Because I did like how she does mention, because she was like, oh, whenever it was dark, I thought about being on adventures with you, and it kind of like brought a little light to her life. And I was like, wow, that was actually good.
Yeah.
But they never tell us what she did or what was so dark.
But here's what would have been good.
Yeah.
Because they were kind of kids that grew up together.
Yeah.
Okay? So maybe there was like a mean guy that stole stuff from them as a kid. I don't know.
Sure, yeah.
We'll make it up.
Even you could bring back the Proxima.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, she imprisoned me for all this time, and then...
But I'm just saying...
bloody vengeance on them all.
Something bad that happened to them as kids that kind of scarred them a bit. She could have been like, remember that time, blah, blah, blah. And he could have been like, yeah. And she could have been like, I had to do that to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And then he could have been like shocked. And she could have been like, see, I am terrible. Fuck you. And walk out, right? Like,
right, yeah.
Or they could have witnessed something. And then she could have been like, remember when we witnessed stupid name...
Well, that's what I mean.
Skinning that other dude alive.
You used the Proxima
I had to do that.
Yeah. Remember when Proxima did all these terrible things? Well, I did that plus these terrible things.
That could have...
Yeah.
Why is this movie so
So they get to Kessel, and then
why don't we have just a Donnie Yen movie?
I didn't like how we don't like get any kind of glimpse into their plan. Like Woody Harrelson's just like, all right, stick to the plan, and you're like, wait, what is their plan? They have a plan? Like,
yeah.
I was like, wait, this is where they're doing their heist?
You know, okay, in good storytelling.
Going back to what I said about the script being, but yes, continue.
Your character has a flaw. That character needs to get over that flaw.
Yeah, or they change or grow in some way.
And to change and grow and to win, right?
Sure.
So if Han Solo's flaw is that he can't follow a plan, then logically at some point he follows a plan and it works.
Mm-hmm.
Like he works as a team, right? But in this movie, they kind of present like that's his flaw, and then he's like, oh, I'm sticking to the plan, and then all of a sudden something goes wrong and he's like, what do I do? And Woody Harrelson's like, oh, improvise.
Yeah.
Don't stick to the plan. And it's like, well, what's his character flaw then?
I just assumed his character flaw was that he was too trusting because he's trusting Emilia Clarke so much.
That's a terrible flaw. That's a good trait.
Well, not in the world that they're presenting in the movie.
I don't know. I just think like, and he doesn't really...
Because he does follow the plan until something goes wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. Even if it was he's too trusting, there's no character there either because he's still... He still gets betrayed by Emilia Clarke. He still gets betrayed by Woody.
Yeah, but he knew that the Beckett betrayals were coming, and he actually made a good plan, and then eventually, spoiler alert, shoots him at the end first. So he learned to not be as trusting. But his blind spot was Emilia Clarke.
And it still was at the end of the movie.
And it still was at the end of the movie.
I don't know. You know what? I'm reading a lot of books about how to structure novels right now, and
I've been reading a lot of screenplay books.
Yeah.
Trying to make the channel commentary better, because I've been reading about okay, how do you write a screenplay? And it's like, why are these people failing at writing screenplays?
And I'm not saying that I would write a better screenplay, but I think I could read one and tell you why it's bad.
Yeah, well, and that exactly.
This movie is bad.
I would structure things differently or introduce things differently. So they do the heist, and it's kind of fun little things, except for the security being a total joke in this planet.
Yeah,
or this mining facility.
We were talking about stakes earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand what they are at all. It seems to be like nothing matters because this movie doesn't matter because nobody cared about it. But every place that they go, they're like, we have to do the thing.
Yeah, they gotta do the thing.
This thing is gonna be so hard, and then it's not.
Yeah.
So what's hard to them?
They're just good at what they do, you know?
No, they're not. They're not supposed to be. He's not supposed to be good yet.
Well, he still makes many mistakes.
He's young and dumb Han, right?
He makes many errors and, missteps.
Yeah, but not... He never comes up across something that you think, oh shit, he might lose.
Yeah, no, there was zero tension in this movie, especially to Han Solo, Chewbacca, Lando, and I think Emilia Clarke for a couple scenes. I was like, well, maybe no, but then I was like, no, they're not gonna kill her. But everyone else, I was kind of like, okay.
Even Woody.
Yeah, no, I just assumed he was gonna live at least to the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So they had plot armor, and I had no tension the entire time about when they escape from Kessel and they're doing the. I was like, ooh, it's visually exciting, but there's zero stakes because they're all gonna live.
Yeah.
On a meta level, you're like. The only one, the droid died, which I was like, okay.
Oh great, that stupid character that nobody likes has been in the movie for 10 minutes. They're dead now.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, and then I did there was a little bit of Chewbacca does a thing on his own. He goes and beats up some dudes, rescues some Wookiees. I was like, cool.
Yeah, and the Red Letter Media review said the relationship between Han and Chewie was good.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I mentioned at the beginning, but the performances were good. Well, that's what's so weird. Well, yeah, Emilia Clarke, occasional scene she was good, but overall, Alden Ehrenreich, I think I want to pronounce that. He was good.
Yeah,
and Woody Harrelson
great
was
actor.
Good. Don Glover, I actually really did like his performance, even though he was just being a cool guy, which that's fine.
Yeah, I think I would have.
And I like Paul Bettany.
I think I would have liked Donald Glover more if he was introduced earlier.
Yeah, if he was in the movie more.
Yeah, but like I said, I was so worn down by the mediocrity of the movie. By the time I met him, I just didn't give a shit.
Well, and he's like he's almost established as already like at peak Lando.
Yeah.
Like, he's not like learning to be still suave, cool guy. Like,
yeah, he's already awesome.
He's already awesome, so like we don't get any growth there.
Yeah.
Whereas, like you said, with Han, there is some a little.
Remember Captain Jack from Doctor Who?
Yeah, Jack Harkness?
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were going to refer to the other Jack, Captain Jack, but that's
Yeah. No, Jack Harkness?
Yeah.
You know how he like hit on everybody?
Yes.
You know, if they wanted to make Lando Pan, which I know that was just the writer off saying something. But I would have enjoyed Lando hitting on Han and then no dice and then like moving on down the line.
Yeah.
Or like every situation he kind of... I would have been fine with that. Then we could have had more of him.
Yeah.
Hitting on like Monkey Man.
Yeah. Because he doesn't do anything in the heist. He just chills in the ship.
Yeah. Did he? Wait, like, I'll only film for 5 days?
Yeah.
You guys?
Basically.
I gotta go make my This Is America videos. So.
Well, and he does have he has a show as well that he does, right?
Does he?
Yeah, he has another show that's apparently really good, and he's got a lot of problems, and of course he with his music career and stuff like that. So he's quite the busy guy. So yeah, maybe they only had him for a week.
I think
and maybe there was maybe again because there was heist reshoots that they were like, okay, well we can't include him because we only had him and we already shot that other stuff. So they do the heist, they get away with the fuel, and then the Empire stuff was cool in this because it was just like the Empire's part of the universe, but it wasn't like in your face because they run into
Empire, isn't it?
That's what I was gonna say. They run into a Star Destroyer.
Oh yeah, and then
blockading the Kessel exit, and it's like, alright.
That was pretty good when Han was like, "Oh, I've been in the Empire. I know they're not gonna send a stupid TIE fighter," and then like 4 come out after them.
Yeah, exactly, stuff like that. That was good.
Yeah.
And then so they do the Kessel run, and instead of doing the 20 parsec, 20,
which is a distance, not a time measurement.
The 20 parsec route to get out. They cut into the gas cloud. And then there's space. That's the problem. It was like visually, it looked cool. It was like, oh man, they're flying around and they're dodging big blocks of ice, and TIE fighters are chasing them. Zero tension though, because literally all the main characters in the one ship, and we all know they live.
And then they meet Space Monster.
And then they meet a Space Monster, which that for me, I was like, no. I was fine with this gas cloud being the threat, and then you got the Space Monster.
Yeah, I didn't really know why that was in there, because
I think the droid had a line about like, oh, there might be some organic beings in the cloud or something like that.
But like...
And I was like, why?
Have we ever come across a Space Monster?
Yeah. In Empire Strikes Back, there's the big space slug that is in the asteroid.
Yeah, but it's not just floating around in space, right?
No, it's
not
like
an
asteroid.
It's not a space whale.
No, we unfortunately haven't met space whales yet.
So why is there like a space sea monster?
Space Cthulhu there.
Yeah, like where did... Okay, for me it seemed out of place because we've never
I didn't like it either.
had any of that in this universe ever before. And I guess you could argue it's like the ocean, but like there's a lot of people around there, so you'd think that somebody would have been like, hey, watch out for that tentacle space monster.
Well, I assume not that many people go in there because the chance of death in the gas cloud.
Oh, and also there's the gravity well.
The gravity well, aka a black hole.
The mini black hole.
Yeah, the whatever it is.
The black hole that they were flying like a foot away from and you couldn't suck them in.
Yeah. I didn't like that shot because it didn't give the distance about how it's like because he's like, oh, they're flying towards and they're like, don't do that, and he's like, oh, to distract the creature they jettisoned the escape pod and it goes after that, which I was like, okay, I'm fine with that, but I was like they looked like they went too close to the black hole.
Yeah, and it was weird because you watch the space whale get sucked in and it looks like his skin got sucked in and then the muscles and then the skeleton.
Yes, that definitely happened.
Okay, that wasn't just me making that up.
No, skin gets torn off first.
But the ship was fine. Well, I mean, it was like beat up, but it was like 10 feet away.
Yeah.
And it was fine.
Yeah.
But his skin got ripped off.
we didn't get a good scale of how they kept their distance until we get the line where they're like, oh no, we're stuck and we can't get away.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, don't worry, we got a super plan.
Yeah, we have the super fuel.
We've got this Horcrux.
And then he uses like blood transfusion props or I suppose tools to extract the super fuel.
Blood transfusion tools from like 1908.
Yeah. Not even like Star Wars versions of them.
No. He's like, oh, this is from World War I.
Yeah. So they get away, and then they go to the other planet to refine the fuel. The space pirates show back up, and then we learn that they're trying to.
Your 12-year-old girl.
12-year-old girl plus some others. I did like Warwick Davis being in there.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
That was cool, and.
I saw them on a British talk show, and they were talking, and then because it was the big fat quiz of everything. I don't know if you've seen that, but they have pairs of celebrities answering questions.
Right.
And he was paired up with, I can't remember who, but the host asked him something about the Star Wars universe.
Not really.
Like, about him being an Ewok.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, he's not really an Ewok, right? He's an actor in a suit. It was good.
Acting.
Yeah. It was funny. And he was just, like, killing himself laughing. He thought it was the funniest thing. Yeah, I was happy he was in it, too.
Yeah, and then, so they come up with this plan, because Han's like, well, we can't get the fuel to the Crimson Raiders. We're going to do bad things with them. And it's like, yeah, we know that. Or Crimson Dawn, I think they're called. Sorry, not Crimson Raiders. I think that's a different thing.
Crimson
something.
It just makes me think of a lady's period.
Yeah, I think it's Crimson Dawn.
And Flo.
Yeah. And, so, he comes up with this scheme. There's some betrayals, some back and forth. Beckett, he's like, I'm not going to help your stupid plan, that's just dumb. But he's also like, I don't want to cut with it. He's like, I'm just going to run.
I'm just going to leave. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, basically, but it's like, because Lando does. Lando just takes off. He's out of the movie now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And then...
he comes back at the end.
Yeah, no, but I mean in the context of like everything that's going on.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. Because we have that scene where he's
does he like hear them? Like...
I think he's just like, oh, hey, there's pirates there. I'm out.
Okay, sure. He doesn't care about his cut anymore.
Basically, yeah. And he's just cutting his losses. So Beckett betrays them to Paul, to Dryden Voss.
Yeah.
But here was the thing. I was like, Emilia Clarke was just kind of going along with it, but I was like, I don't think she's in with the plan. Like, it just never seemed to me that she was like, yeah, I totally agree, Han, that, like, this plan's gonna work and we'll be able to get out. She was just like, I'm just gonna show up and, like, probably have to kill Han at some point now. You know what I mean? Like,
I think she was like, where are my dragons?
Yeah, basically. Because then, Dryden Voss is like, why are you betraying me, Emilia Clarke? And I was like, but she's not. We never got that scene where she's like, yeah, I'm down, Han.
I don't know.
I think it was like in her mind to use it as a potential to kill Dryden Voss to take over.
Yeah.
Because that's, spoiler, what happens.
So they're like, you know what this audience needs? They need a backstory for Han Solo's name. You know what they don't need? This, like, one scene that would connect A and C. We don't need B. We just need A and C.
Definitely.
But
they do it twice.
You know where he got his gun from?
Oh, yeah. Because they do that basically twice, and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
But I did like the main confrontation was in an office. It was in this big bombastic thing, Rogue One-ish style, where there's 10 million things and you don't care. I was like, oh, I'm actually kind of interested. Han Solo fighting, Vision, and he's got cool knives, and they're shooting at each other.
Fighting Vision.
They're shooting at each other in the closed quarters. I was like, oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
But you knew essentially that he was gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I also assumed that Emilia Clarke was probably gonna die in like some kind of sacrificial.
No, because if she died, then we wouldn't get the best scene in the whole movie.
I assume you want to talk about this.
Yeah. So, remember way back in Phantom what?
Yeah, Phantom Menace.
Yeah. When Darth Maul died, turns out, nope. Because he is her boss.
Yeah.
He's her boss's boss.
Yeah, and I was going to say, because there actually is a comic storyline, which I've read, where... So this is where it gets muddled, though, because Palpatine sends Darth Maul to basically take out most of the Black Sun and another crime syndicate so that they can not have to worry about the crime lords when they're doing their rise to power.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, it's kind of taking that idea, but I was like, but again, we don't get any information as to what the hell is going on.
No, because it's character insertion for the sake of character insertion, just like Leia at the end of...
Oh god, that's the worst thing ever.
Yeah, at the end of Rogue One.
Yeah.
But I'm like fuzzy on timelines now, because how old was Darth Maul in Phantom Menace?
That's where I'm also confused.
Is he 20 or is he 30?
I would assume, let's say he's in his 20s by Earth years.
Okay, so he's 25. Let's go with that. So, how much older?
I think I was reading somewhere that if he'd be like 60.
Yeah.
I think is what
because
it is.
Anakin at the beginning of Phantom Menace is like 4, 8,
5. I think it is.
5?
No, 9. I think it is.
9.
Yeah, he's 9. Yeah, because he's like 18ish.
You know how I know that?
Padme, yeah.
Or
the second
Weird
time.
Al song.
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
He's just 9 and she's 14.
Yeah. Because when he meets Padme again, he's like 18ish.
Yeah. Okay. 9 years old.
Yeah.
So in the time between Phantom Menace and Han Solo.
Han Solo movie, yeah.
Anakin has grown up, so he's gone to 20.
Yeah.
And then
he's Vader now.
Yeah. And like Han is like 20, 18, 20.
Yeah, I'd say because there was that 3-year smash cut and they didn't look like children.
Yeah.
So I'd say early 20s.
Early 20s,
maybe.
okay.
That's again, let's say a 25ish type range.
So how much older is Han than Luke? Because I assume that they're closest in age because Luke and Leia are twins, correct?
Yes.
So is he like 5 years old?
I was about to say, I think it's like a 4 or 5 year gap, yeah.
Okay, so let's say like Luke is 15 then.
At this time? Like when this movie's
When this movie's happening, okay? So he's
because he's only like supposed to be 16 or 17 when he blows up the Death Star the first time, I think. He's supposed to be pretty young.
What?
Yeah, he's like super young, I think it is.
Okay, so he's like 13. 10? He's 10? Maybe 10?
No, I was just trying to think, or maybe I'm misremembering. He's not that old though when he blows up the Death Star the first time.
The thing is, I don't understand their timeline.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say, because...
It would have been helpful to some kind of like a line somewhere to establish when this is taking place.
Because now Han, at the end of the movie, he's gonna go work for Jabba.
Or he's gonna head to Tatooine and hear about some jobs.
Yeah. So like, how long does he work for Jabba before A New Hope happens? Like, is it a year? Is it 6 months? Is it a week?
Yeah.
We don't know.
We don't know.
So when is New Hope happening after this movie? And how old is Darth Maul? And like, what's going on? Why do they just throw things in because it's familiar?
Yeah, it's because it's the thing you know. Remember Darth Maul?
No, I don't care.
He was badass.
He got cut in half and he fell in a hole and he would be dead, except he's not dead, he's fine.
Yeah.
Did they retcon that scene?
Yeah, exactly. That didn't actually happen.
Are the like prequels non-existent now? Did they just destroy them?
Maybe.
Does somebody have a time turner? Like, what's going on?
I also thought it was so dumb that every time we've ever seen the Star Wars communications, especially before The Force Awakens, it's always blue monochromatic.
Oh, and then he has red.
He has a red lightsaber and it glows red. And I was like, fuck you, movie.
Yeah, but it's because he's got the power of red.
Yeah.
Is he communicating with her from beyond the grave? Like,
no, he's at Dome of Dathomir.
Did he have robot legs?
Yeah, we don't get the shot to see if he has robot legs or not, because he's just sitting there and he's wearing like pants and stuff.
Does he just have no legs? Are they both prosthetic? Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't get those answers. Plus, we probably might not get those answers now because after this movie didn't make a lot of money, they were like, okay, whoa.
No, because we're going to get the Darth Maul movie now. It's going to be about him getting robot legs.
It was trying to set up like a potential Obi-Wan movie about him going back after Darth Maul.
Oh, really?
It's the only logical explanation.
But then, isn't Ewan McGregor too young to be Obi-Wan at this time?
No, he's practically age appropriate. Because there'd still be, again, a gap before A New Hope.
Yeah, but how much of a gap?
They can massage the gap, is my point.
They got him a time turner.
Yeah.
He's Jude Law now.
Because, Alden Ehrenreich doesn't look as old as Harrison Ford did in A New Hope, so there's, you know, a couple of years of there.
It says Harrison Ford was like 38 in A New Hope.
I know, well, that's what I'm saying. There's some time that they could still, you know, they could.
So how much older is Han than Leia? Because if they're twins, then Leia would be 16. So is he like a pervert?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't do enough research, and I think, again, because it's not really well established when this movie takes place. There was no line, there was no dialogue, there was no, hey, that thing, that event that we know of.
Because then it also kind of implied that, like, the pirates were going to start the rebellion.
Yes.
But hasn't the rebellion already started because that's what Rogue One was? Wait, is Rogue One, does that take place after Han Solo?
Yes.
Or at the same time?
It's after Han Solo.
Oh.
Yeah, it would definitely be after Han Solo.
Okay.
So, yeah, because, like, these pirates are like, we gotta start some sort of rebellion against the Empire.
So they couldn't have done these, like, side movies in chronological order?
No, and I think that's where it would have been helpful if they had established when they are taking place. I mean, they don't really do that in the Marvel ones, but then they all sort of take place in a chronological-ish type order.
Yeah.
Or when they're just like, you know, like you could tell when things are, how it fits.
Yeah.
Here we get no idea.
Because they have
like we're piecing it together.
Yeah. They have like one line in Marvel movies where they're like, hey, remember when that thing blew up? And they're like, yeah, totally.
Yeah, you're right? Like, okay, I understand.
Now I know where we are, but I don't know where we are with Han Solo.
Yeah. We know that we're on some sort of planet where they refined the gas, and then they did some betrayals, and then Emilia Clarke leaves to go to Dathomir.
To go be Darth Maul's bitch.
To go be Darth Maul's bitch, yes.
Yes.
Because I actually would watch that movie. Her training with Darth Maul and being cool, and then I have to fight Obi-Wan or something. Cool.
I would not watch any movie that she's in.
Well, I'm just saying, I would watch it.
No, I'm gonna watch the last season of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong.
Of course. We all
I need to finish it.
Yeah.
But I hate that show so much, and I think I'm gonna hate it even more now because she's in it. Now I hate two of the main characters.
Yeah. The two that'll be probably most prominently featured.
Yeah, and then they're gonna have Boink again.
Yeah. And then Han, before
the White Walkers win.
Well, they obviously before Emilia Clarke leaves in her little ship, Han meets with Beckett.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm gonna teach you another lesson, and then blam, Han just shoots him, and I was like, yay, there you go.
I didn't give a shit at all.
So he shoots Beckett to rescue Chewbacca.
And then he runs over to hug him.
Well, yeah, because he was just like, oh man, I didn't want to have to kill you, but I knew you were going to shoot me. Yeah. It's basically the dialogue.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then here's where I feel like, and then she leaves, fine. And then it's like him and Chewbacca are standing there, and they just should have had a line, and he's like, well, I guess let's head to like the spaceport. And then the movie should have ended. I don't think we should have gotten the coda scene where he goes and plays cards again with Lando.
No, but you have to give fan service that nobody wants.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. These movies, and it was the same with Rogue One, that they're not, confident to just like make the movie. You don't have to shove all this crap in it.
No, because you know what? It's that they're not. But going back to my original point.
Yeah, there's no soul.
There's no soul. They're just fucking shoving shit in there so that they can be like Star Wars.
Yeah. And then they can sell a toy of it.
Even sell a toy of it.
Yeah.
Even the prequels.
Yeah.
Were terrible.
Oh, yes.
But they had some sort of heart because you knew that this was George Lucas's
sort of vision.
Fever dream that he put together.
Yeah.
This was nobody's Coke fever dream. This wasn't dreamed up by anybody. This was they wrote a list of things that were that Han Solo said, and they're like, we have to fit this in somehow.
Yeah.
And then they put the pieces together like that.
Yeah, it's like I was talking with you briefly before we started recording that I was like, yeah, what was the pitch? Like,
there was no pitch. They're like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, where was the original spark? If someone was because someone must have wanted to make a Han Solo movie, aside from just a Disney boardroom. If they're like, oh yeah, Han Solo, and then they find somebody who's like, I do have a good idea for a Han Solo space adventure.
No.
Then they fired them.
This is what happened. They broke down a list of all the characters in Star Wars, and they rolled the dice.
Yeah.
Then they wrote down a list of all the things that characters ever said, and they're like, we need to put this in a movie.
It's just so weird.
And then they just connected dots to make it make sense.
Because at least Rogue One, as a tangential movie, it was its own creation and it was telling its own little other story. Why a prequel thing? Because it's been proven, for the most part, that prequel stuff's always terrible.
Yeah.
It's never a good idea in the end because of the nature and the restriction of it. And so it's like, why did they... It's just why.
That's what I'm telling you. They rolled the dice. They're like, who's the most... Or, you know what? They probably didn't even roll the dice. They probably did a Google survey that they sent out to 100 Star Wars fans, and they're like, which character do you want to see a movie of?
Because I feel like this movie, as it is, with all of its flaws and problems, if it wasn't about Han Solo, if it was about Beckett and his crew doing some jobs, and then Emilia Clarke and Dryden Voss, and you're showing this criminal underbelly of the Star Wars universe, cool.
Yeah.
And then maybe, like, if you want to include, like, you talk about, just like mention him in a line, you're like, someone's like, oh, I heard about this pilot, maybe we should try to get this Han guy. Fine, but he's not in the movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, and then you can tell this other story, and I guess, again, it's not things we know and people would be marketable, but then it would also be original, sort of like Rogue One tried to be. Yeah. Because my whole problem with Rogue One, especially as well, was all the fan service crap they threw in there. Yeah. And the fact that it was 2 movies merged into one, fine. Yeah. But but all that
at
stuff,
least Rogue One was interesting to watch. And
that stuff was all embarrassing and annoying to me. Yeah. The instant Vader showed up, Tarkin showed up, Leia, all that crap. I was like, just take that out of the movie. You're ruining your movie, to me anyway.
But like I said, it was still interesting to watch, whereas Han Solo was not. Oh, yeah. And also, that Rogue One seemed like it had soul.
Yeah, no, because the guy who pitched it, he's worked at ILM for like ever, and actually helped create Photoshop, and he's obviously been in the Star Wars, like...
Not like Han Solo, he was no soul.
Yeah, he pitched the idea. He was like, this is what I want to do, and they were like, okay. And he wrote it and stuff. I don't know. Well, let's see what else I had for notes here on... like I said, I would have not preferred to see the card game because he knows... He sees the card that Lando cheated. He takes it. Then they get into a big pot again. And then he bets his ship again. Why would he even bet his ship again? He knows Han wants to win the ship.
Yeah. Because Star Wars. I don't know.
Because Star Wars.
Space Wizard.
And then they put the stupid dice again in the thing. Which I was like... Fuck you and your dice, Disney. Like, seriously.
So, they were supposed to do...
I don't swear a lot on our podcast.
Oh, I've been swearing a lot.
No, I know Devon does, but usually I don't swear very much in these ones. But this movie, the whole Star Wars situation. I mean, I've been a Star Wars fan since I was a child. I can tell you the score of the movies and how it plays in my brain and like the lines of the movies. And I'm not as huge of a fan of the EU stuff, but I've read a lot of it, read some comics, and I've played the video games. And just to see something you love just go down in flames sucks. Yeah. And I understand I don't own the property, and it's not my thing. But I'm not the only Star Wars fan in the world, right? Like
what?
Like, it's like, what are you doing? It's so mismanaged when you can see how well managed all their Marvel stuff is and their own Pixar stuff is, that you're like, why are these people still at the helm?
They just don't have the confidence, I think, like you were saying, in producing something original.
I guess, yeah.
But so there was a Boba Fett movie in the talks, but I think that's been scrapped now.
I think it's been scrapped, but then there's the Mandalorian show that Jon Favreau is heading up. Which I don't think is going to focus on Boba Fett. It's just going to be like about Mandalorians or like a Mandalorian bounty hunter who's not Boba Fett.
So, after these 3 movies, that's it? Yeah. Like after the next installment?
They've announced stuff, but now it's like I don't feel like anything's in the works anymore. Like there's
I
been
think
no...
it's going to depend on how this next movie does.
How episode 9 does.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have not... they had announced things...
People really hated The Last Jedi.
Yeah, and I can understand.
There's an okay movie in there.
That's the problem. And like I was saying previously, it's like the last 3 Star Wars movies. It's like there are parts that are good and enjoyable, but then there's so much wrong.
I find like a lot of people are upset about different things than I'm upset about in The Last Jedi, though.
That's probably possible. I mean, everyone's got their own take.
I really liked Luke in it as grumpy old man.
Yeah, I think the main problem is, and like I didn't mind his performance as grumpy old man as well, is that it's like it's not the Luke we knew. So how did he become grumpy old man? We never find out.
He was alone on a rock for a long time.
Yeah, we never get to see or know that story. Like they set their story too far ahead, and we never get to see the interesting part.
Yeah.
Like where is the collapse? Where is the First Order's rise? They're just suddenly there. Like
yeah,
it's like,
that's true.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. I think if they like had done Rose and Finn's story as a separate movie or something, that might have been a good idea too.
I'm also thinking, and this is no knock against him because I think I've enjoyed some of his stuff. I don't think Poe should be a main character.
Oh, I hate Poe so much.
Yeah, when he was introduced in The Force Awakens and then he died, and I was like, oh, and then he comes back at the end, and I was like, wait, is he a character we're supposed to care about? And I was like, oh, he's some kind of X-Wing pilot?
No.
Like, you know how many X-Wing pilots die in Star Wars?
A lot.
A lot. Yeah.
I don't care about Poe. I like him as an actor. He was really good in Ex Machina.
Yeah, he was great in Ex Machina. So I don't think
he was getting Annihilation too.
Yeah, I don't think he should be a main character, and then your focus could be Rey, Kylo, Finn.
Yeah.
And then you introduce this Rose element, and then it's like, oh, what's the Rey, Finn, Rose relationship?
Yeah.
But she's kind of like doing maybe a thing with Kylo. Maybe they're going in separate directions.
I just really want Rey and Kylo to kiss.
Sure, and
Reylo.
Yeah.
Hashtag Reylo.
Hashtag Reylo. Because, like, I have my qualms with The Last Jedi as well, of course.
It had one of the best fight scenes ever, though.
Sure.
In that red room.
Yeah, the choreography and everything was really great.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, and the visual, like, that's the problem. And like I was saying with the Han Solo things, like, there are, well, most of the time, there's some great visuals. Like, we can...
Oh, no, there's none in Han Solo.
Han Solo had a couple.
No. What? Name one. The mountain exploding?
Yeah, mountain exploding was kind of cool.
It was mediocre.
Okay.
Scene explosion.
No, when they're flying in the space cloud, I like that.
Mediocre. I've seen it.
Yeah, but not to this technical level. Like, it looked really good.
No. It looked average.
Okay.
Maybe my computer isn't as good as your TV.
But it's like the basic blocks are broken.
Yeah.
So your foundation sucks that you have these cool visuals on and these characters, and you're like, but it's broken, yo.
I'm broken.
So the point being, episode 9, like, there's very little information. It's supposed to come out this year, isn't it?
December, yeah.
Yeah.
Scheduled to.
And it's like,
I think
there's nothing.
They announced the title of The Last Jedi
around the Super Bowl? Because I know they...
Yeah, around the Super Bowl.
I thought last year they had previews already at the Super Bowl, though, which is next week, according, like, when we're recording here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like when we release this, the Super Bowl's that week.
Who's in the Super Bowl this year?
The Patriots and the Chargers, I think it is.
Oh.
I honestly don't follow the NFL.
I know my dad cares about the Seahawks.
Oh, okay, no, unfortunately they didn't make it.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't follow football either.
So, like I said, there hasn't been any rumblings of if they're going to announce something or not. Yeah, it's like usually I think...
There might be a subscribe to PewDiePie commercial.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast was going to pay $5 million to have a subscribe to PewDiePie.
Nice.
That's a rumor. Okay. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, like they usually announce the title and then at like a Comic-Con and then they at the Star Wars Celebration there's some trailer stuff. Anywho, point being, you are correct. I think that episode 9 is going to really determine what the heck they do.
Yeah, it's going to launch the young Leia movie.
Because I think Disney made a good... I can't even do that.
She has to learn how to be a princess, Dan.
Can't even deal with it. Can't even deal with it.
Princess lessons.
Yeah.
So walking around with a book on her head.
Yeah, you gotta have good posture.
Yeah.
They could make some kind of romantic whatever movie, like, and do that on Alderaan. That might actually get an audience.
Yes.
Yeah. Young Leia.
Young Leia and her boyfriend who gets killed.
Yeah, she's doing research and then she's finding out how the Empire is evil.
Yeah.
That's why she starts turning to the rebellion and then she starts to fund money to them. And then you got Jimmy Smits back as her dad and he's like, don't get involved with those rebellion guys.
Yeah.
And then someone gets killed that she's... We've pitched this movie to Disney.
Disney, listen, pay us.
Okay, so my point was going to be is that Disney obviously did make a smart business move buying Star Wars. They paid a lot of money for it, $4 billion, but...
It's probably made that back already.
Not really.
Oh.
Not on the movies part,
Okay.
anyway. But then they get to add... No, the toys aren't doing very well either. And I think it's because the movies aren't popular with children, even though they try to market them to children. What's popular is Marvel with kids.
Yeah.
Marvel stuff is just gangbusters, but the Lego stuff does huge for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say they can obviously retheme all their like rides, and they can do all sorts of theming for their theme park.
Mm-hmm.
And they are fine. They're gonna do some more show stuff, and they've got some YouTube stuff out right now. Like
YouTube stuff?
Yeah, they release. This is really annoying. Where they're animating parts from like the original trilogies and putting them out to like try to connect with a younger audience. I think it's coming out on YouTube or on TV, or you can see clips on YouTube anyway. I saw a couple of them. Anyway.
Okay.
Like it's well animated and it's cool, but it's like it's just a rehash of the same content we've seen. New. And here was my main point.
Okay.
And I was saying this earlier, is Disney when they bought it, they were like, we're jettisoning the EU. Because I get it, there's a lot of weird stuff in there, and there's a lot of stuff that's written a long time ago. But I think it was just a money thing because they didn't want to pay people writing credit.
Yeah.
And my problem is that the stuff they're coming up with on their own is worse than the stuff that was in the EU.
Yeah.
Because I actually have read a Han Solo origin book.
Oh, how did that go?
Better than this movie. And like the whole Thrawn trilogy that takes place after Return of the Jedi was better so far than, of course, The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi.
Didn't Luke have like a badass wife?
Yes, Mary Jade Skywalker. Where is she?
Yeah.
She was an Emperor's assassin sent to kill him.
Yeah.
And it's like...
I'd watch that.
I would watch that. Yes. So it's like, there was so many cool things that it's like, why?
Doesn't Luke go dark side and then come back to light so that he can understand the Force better?
Yes! He becomes the Emperor, and the Emperor isn't fully dead, he has clones, and they have to find his cloning facility and kill it all. And the Emperor's hand was a cool, sophisticated surveillance system that he had the entire Coruscant practically wired, and he would use it to blackmail politicians, and there was so much cool stuff. And there was an Emperor's admiral by the name of Thrawn who knew where all the weapons were developed, aka the Death Star and the Sun Crusher, and he goes and he uses these to fight the New Republic. And he comes back as a huge threat. He's got Star Destroyers and Super Star Destroyers, and they have to fight him off. Way better than anything they've come up with. And that's the problem.
Yep.
It's like there was already this gold mine, and you just threw it all away to make something worse, to make something so fantasy. Yeah. Sorry for my tangent rant.
That's okay, I've been ranting all episode.
Yeah, sorry.
What?
I took over on the ranting.
Sorry, what was the budget for this movie again? $300 million?
Reportedly $300 million.
Do you know what would have been a better business move? To give me $100 million. And I would have just not made this movie.
Yeah. They probably would have saved money on it for sure, because like I say,
I'm helping. Disney, listen out.
There was definitely
Disney CEOs.
There was reshoots. There was a lot of money in the original Lorne Miller version, and then they reshot like reportedly almost like it was something stupid, like 80 or 90% of the movie.
Here's the thing, like people like Star Wars a lot, right? Like there are some huge Star Wars fans.
Yes, as I just ranted.
So like if money is an issue with Disney and Star Wars for whatever reason, I'm pretty sure they could hire people for cheap.
That's what I'm saying.
Are the top of their craft. Like actors too, right? Like Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
Didn't he just did the voice in Force Awakens, but I think he wanted to be in it bad. It wasn't Daniel Craig a stormtrooper?
Yeah, you just wanted to be in the movie.
So and weren't the princes and Harry and William were stormtroopers?
They were reportedly stormtroopers as well, yes.
So you don't even need to pay extra.
Yeah. True. Yeah, I mean, you do a raffle at the Star Wars Celebration and be an extra in Star Wars.
You get people to buy raffle tickets.
Yes.
They fund the movie.
It's like crowdfunded on Kickstarter. Basically.
Whoever bids the highest can write it. It can't be any worse than this shit.
And that's what I was saying earlier, is that Disney and they have access to all these people, and to essentially, if you call anybody that's a screenwriter, and you're like, hey, it's Disney, I want you to write something for us and we will pay you money to do it, most people are going to jump at that opportunity.
Yeah, I think maybe the thing is that they can't meddle at all. They can't say the movie needs to have this.
Yeah, and they do that with Marvel, where they say, okay, your movie has to have these elements in it, but most of these directors make it work.
Yeah, but Marvel is you have to have these elements so that it's connected.
Yeah.
I could see that, but I mean, they don't go to Marvel and be like, okay, you have to mention this specific where the origin of this gun, you have to make up a origin, and I think that maybe with the Star Wars movies, they're like, here's my laundry list of things from old movies that we want you to put into the new ones.
Right. Well, and again, maybe it's just because of the prequelish nature to this, that if they didn't do it in that way but still wanted to tell a criminal underground lawless story, it's like an old it's like a western essentially.
Yeah, it's like Firefly.
Yeah, it's like Firefly. If they wanted to tell a Firefly type story, it probably could have been more creative, because then it wouldn't have been.
Fillion was in it.
I'm actually surprised he wasn't in it in some way.
He's not big enough.
I guess. I mean, Nathan Fillion.
I think he's a pretty small actor comparatively, yeah.
No, but I was surprised he didn't have a small role. That's my point. Not in it as Han Solo or something.
I think he would have been a better Woody.
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah. He's good at being him.
Yeah.
I don't know what Firefly.
Yeah, that's what. And when Maeve was in there, and I was like, oh man, it's Thaddy Newton. I was like, that's awesome. She's really great. And then
too bad they underutilized her.
She just died, and I was like, oh man. Literally, when she and the ape guy died, which I don't remember his name, I was like, why would they kill two of the cool characters that were just introduced?
Yeah, especially when they went out of the way with Alien Dude to be like, hey, let's form a bond.
Yeah.
Let's be friends.
I'll be your friend, man. Yeah. Not everyone has to be a cutthroat
I'm the
villain.
Nicest guy in the universe. So I'm gonna die.
Not everyone's a cutthroat, I'm gonna betray you all the time. We can still be a crew. Oh, dead.
Dead. I'm the heart and soul of this movie. Better kill me off.
Yeah, so I was disappointed when they were both exited from the movie, because I was like, oh, I thought that'd be cool. They do die in a later part of the movie to harden Han to be like, oh man, I shouldn't try to get to know my crew so much and trust people.
What if Woody betrayed them and
yeah,
that's why they died.
And that's why they died.
And then you're heartbroken because Woody's been his mentor the whole thing.
Exactly. See, that's what I'm saying. The pieces are sort of there.
Yeah.
It just, the structure needs to be redone. Or maybe again, Thaddy Newton wanted too much because she's like, I got this Westworld going on.
Then get a different actress.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, but she's really good. So.
She's really good, but there's other good actresses.
That's true.
Go get Zoe from Firefly. She's played that role before. You know she can do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Should we wrap it up?
I guess so, yes. I apologize for my earlier ranting.
So would you recommend this movie?
That's the problem, is that
I really hope it doesn't kill that actor's career.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I am a large Star Wars fan, but it's hard to recommend watching this movie, or
it's bad.
the last 3 movies particularly, because there are only parts of it that I liked.
Yeah.
It's not overall I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it actually more than I thought I was going to enjoy it, because I went in with a really low bar.
I did too, and it didn't meet my expectations.
No, absolutely, and I enjoyed it more than I thought, but I thought it was too long and just poorly structured, and the characters, they just had to do different things or more with some of them, and the movie could have been there. And so unfortunately, I gotta say, I don't recommend it. I know.
I'm shocked.
I know, like it's like just below a recommend for me.
Okay.
It's like,
Yeah.
But yeah, man, maybe again, it was because it was like 2:20 or 2.5 hours.
I know. You know what? Here's the thing.
If it was like a 2 hour longer one, like then it could have probably would work. It would be a little.
I was like dreading watching it. I'm like, fuck, I have to spend this much time.
Yeah, I was shocked when I booted it up because I was like, okay, you know.
I thought it was gonna be 90 minutes.
I thought it was 2 hours, and then I was like, wow, oh, jeez.
Should have been 90 minutes.
Sorry. So, Devon, would you recommend?
Yeah, so good.
Yes.
You know, if there was only 2 movies left on Earth, and it was Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald and Han Solo: A Han Solo Story, I would watch Han Solo over Grindelwald.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I enjoyed it a little more than I was expecting, but because I did like some of the performances, I liked a couple of the set pieces, but. Again, maybe it's just because I'm like...
It was just boring and stupid.
It was boring, and I think it's maybe because I'm spinning a better movie in my brain. Yeah. And I did like the final 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it was.
When Darth Maul was there?
No. Up until when Darth Maul was there, essentially.
That's the only part of the movie I like.
Yeah.
I liked when she screamed, "Where are my dragons?"
Yeah. Yeah, why did she scream when she's throwing grenades?
What?
When they're on Kessel and then she runs out into the ship, comes out with grenades, and then she's like, yeah, doing the large grenade throw scream.
Oh, I think I was looking at my phone. I don't remember.
It was during a shootout.
That's how boring it was.
Okay.
Where are my dragons?
Yeah, basically.
Cool. If you want to follow us on social media... Sorry, do you have anything else?
No, I think I will just start ranting again, sorry.
Okay. If you want to follow us on social media, we're on Instagram, Tome _ Uselessness. We're on Twitter, Useless_Tome. We're on Facebook, Tome of Uselessness. We're on a website, tomeofuselessness.com. We're on YouTube, Tome of Uselessness. That's it, right?
I think that's it.
Cool. Well,
thanks for listening.
Yeah, like and subscribe and rate and review, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
See you next time.
Bye.
See you in space, cowboy.